Welcome to the Freud's Angels weekly reading, bringing the collective guidance and understanding for this week's energy.
Remember, never give your power up to a reader or a reading. You always have the power of autonomy. Hey, angels, welcome to your weekly reading. We are reading from November 23rd through the 29th. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody who celebrates, and happy Sagittarius season. Some of my favorite people are Sagittarians because I'm a Gemini. We're sister signs. But also, some of the people that frustrate me the most are Sagittarius. And that's the thing with a sister sign. And a sister sign is considered the sign that is in the opposite end of your zodiac.
Yes.
And so for
Me and the
Gemini,
Aries.
it's Sag, and Vanessa's Aries because Libra and Aries. And so, what does this mean? It means that there is because that is the opposite side of you, and so it can mean that there is great friction, and then there is like this like really volatile relationship, or it can mean like you are best friends. It is like one or the other, and it just depends. I think it depends on where all your other signs are and where the makeup, but that's generally what a sister sign means. So happy birthday to all of my beautiful Sages because yeah, they are they're quite the people, let me tell you. I've learned quite a few things from some Sagittariuses. Anyways, Vanessa, we're back with the mermaids again this week. How are they telling us this week is going to go?
I forgot that the last time I had forgotten them, and because I was at my sister's house, when you said back with the mermaids, I was like, yeah, but it was only yesterday, because yesterday they didn't want to speak to me at all. I mean, I shuffled for probably 5 minutes, and they were like, we've had enough of you asking the same shit. But yeah, so yeah, we're back. And Grace will know why this sucks for me. Because I pulled this very dark card.
Oh
Like,
God.
and it's the dive deep card, which I mean is that dark sometimes, but the actual aesthetics of it is dark, and it's extremely triggering for me right now. Because Scorpio season was about like underworld times, and I've got a lot of Scorpio on my chart, and there was a lot of depth that I've experienced this past week, like really without my permission. And if anything, I feel like this card coming out is to remind us that digging deep isn't always like going hard at it. That and this is just real time of the idea that it comes to you. That's what she's when it like the card says dive deep, and she's literally just floating in the darkness.
Yeah.
She's not diving like you'd think with a card called dive deep that you would have an image of something that feels like a dive or a something that is more action oriented. Nope, she's just hanging. And that's how I personally feel. And I think that collectively we kind of feel this way too. Like some of the darkness is being brought to us.
Yeah.
We did not have to go looking for it.
No.
It just comes here. But then it gives us an opportunity to sit and observe it instead of making it work. Right. And that's what I think happens when we allow ourselves to think of, the other theme that I've been hanging out with is stillness, not being in action, right? Like observation isn't not doing something.
Yeah.
Right. Like when I send my clients out to do detective work, I'm like, just observe a little bit more deeply what's going on and then bring it back here. I'm not asking you to do anything with any of that. You can tell me if that observation made you do something, of course. You know what I mean? Like that's us trying to figure out your natural coping skills too. And some good things may come of it just from your awareness. But yeah, that's what's been happening for me personally, is that the darkness gets brought to me, and then I sit with it and observe it now instead of trying to get the fuck out of it, which is what usually a deep dive is for me, is like go problem solve.
Sort.
Right.
like dig,
Yeah,
sort,
like
figure
do
out,
some
weed
stuff,
out.
figure it out. Yeah, and it's really just observing a lot right now. So I think that that kind of fits for everyone in a
Yeah.
lot of ways
Oh
because
God.
there's a lot of stuff we don't have control over right now or we have perceived lack of control over, and it makes us go into this diving type situation when observation and like truth around us, like really around us, is the bigger deep dive.
Right.
That felt all over the place, but I just was like,
I'm really glad
that's
that you
what's coming
mentioned.
in.
Yeah, I'm really glad you mentioned the stillness because that kind of, when you think about cocooning, like we talked about last week, and we talked, or whatever week it was, um, don't remember anymore. Um,
Time. What is it?
and we think about just diving deep, and sometimes diving deep is diving under that wave, right?
Mm,
It reminds me because you were sharing life purpose divination that we went through before, and
mhm,
it was like we learned how to dive under the wave to see it for the reality of what it is, like diving under the emotion, diving under the moment, and just kind of in
mhm.
that deep dive of like awareness, like you were saying, but stillness, because
Yeah.
like I am the same way in that I am like, I'm going to sort this out. I'm going to root it out. I'm going to heal it. I'm going to dissect it. I'm going to understand it. I'm going to learn the lesson. I'm going to do all the things. But sometimes you just need to sit with it, right? You just need to be with it and it's okay. Like you don't necessarily need to do anything. And it's really hard to do nothing and to be in stillness and let it energetically catch up and process. So, and
Because
that's
it feels
kind of
like nothing's gonna happen if you don't
right,
do something, right?
right.
Especially for people like us who are very big doers, very big manifestors. We are very used to being able to alchemize anything, right? And then and not letting it alchemize, like it doesn't it feels unnatural because we feel like we're the drivers of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
and I think too is that we there's our nervous system doesn't like being still because stillness means threat. If we sit long enough, then the bear could come and eat us.
mm,
And when we've had moments where movement meant no one, whatever that is, like for me, it's like no one would criticize me, no one would tell me I'm lazy, no one would tell me that I'm not doing enough if I just kept doing things. And so stillness is like it's disruptive, it disrupts my nervous system. And so it's like this process of becoming relevant in the stillness and in the quiet and in the moment. And I mean, like the post I posted on Instagram and sent out to my email list, absolutely, like it's just about taking the breath. It's letting things catch up and not trying to run ahead of the train, not trying to beat the train to the next station. It's about just waiting for it and
mm.
riding the train, letting something else do the work besides you. And
And
yeah,
sometimes it's not on time. As you were talking about that, I was thinking about the subway and being like, man, I have no control over when that comes, and you just wait for it, and then
yeah,
you get on it. And if it's 2 minutes late, you get on it 2 minutes late, and then it's fine. There's nothing you can do about it. You're still going to get to your destination.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a really great analogy.
Yeah.
I can picture it too. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and I overestimate what those 2 minutes actually. I mean, I obviously don't commute like that anymore, but I would freak out about where am I? Like, girl, the 2 minutes not gonna matter.
yeah,
But it feels so because it's not on time and it's not the way that it's supposed to be. And like,
yeah.
but the train's supposed to be here right now. What can I do instead? Like, you just need to sit and wait for the train because there's nothing. Your car is in New Jersey.
Nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do.
Oh God. So our
So what do we
surrender,
got going on over there? What are we surrendering?
we're surrendering to joy, which is, I think, a very, it feels very hard to achieve this week. A key to
Yes,
positive
we come out
change
with
in
that
your
statement.
life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling during joy. Oh God, shit, Grace. During both the hard and easy times, keep surrendering to more joy. Completely like not reading what's on the page and just going with what my brain wanted to say. Um, and I think sometimes too is that I see joy and I'm instantly activated. It's like,
Yeah,
it's not fucking easy to find joy when
yeah.
shit's happening. But
Feels like a gaslight.
yeah, it sometimes can, and it does, because it's like, okay, how? Well, I think, one of the things I'm learning is it's not even so much about what we may label as joyful, and it could be just taking moments that don't feel as heavy and connecting to that. Like, just even like my cat, when she jumps up here for treats, I know she don't want me. She wants the treats that are on my desk. But I just take a moment, I smile at her and I just tell her how much I love her. And I created a moment of joy, even if the whole world is burning down around me. It's
Mm,
those tiny micro moments that we can create in a way that helps us for a moment come out of the heaviness. I'm not saying it's going to fix it. I'm not saying it's going to make it all better. I'm not saying it's easy to connect to it. But if we can just have a moment where we think of someone we love and just smile to ourselves about that person, when we think about, you know, a pet or a child that we love, like just focus for 1 second on something that really you love so much, and and just, or something that has happened in your life, or something that is you've done, like maybe you took a trip to Europe, or you've traveled, or maybe you did a big launch and it was successful, or maybe you wrote a book, or maybe you've done something in your life has brought you joy. It's collecting all of those little micro joys and connecting to them in places where it feels the darkest, because it's what kind of brings in hope. It's what brings us back to the possibilities of hope. And it's not easy to hold it right now. And with Thanksgiving coming, I can't I can't tell you how inadequate I feel to share how to help you guys navigate through that, because it's not going to be easy for a lot of us. And thankfully, I mean, it's the one of the few times I'm grateful I don't live near any of my family. Um, and I'm not going to go to holiday dinners, like, right? It's like one
yeah.
of the, so yeah, yeah. Um, I know this
I
was a
liked the two. When you first said the card, I was like, what the, like, could those be more opposite? And then I was like, oh, Vanessa, that's because of what you feel about the dive deep card right now. Like I'm in a bit of a dysregulation space. Not super bad, but like it's there. I can feel it in my stomach, and that's how I know that it's there. Like I got a little bit of a pit thing there. But then I was thinking about like, why on earth do we think a deep dive is a bad thing? Like I definitely was like, huh, I'm just gonna check myself on that right now, because what you just described was diving deep into your joy moments. It's the same thing, right? Like it feels like a deep dive because that's not where you are, right?
right.
Like if I'm at the surface and the surface is on fire and I need to go find some joy, which is below the surface and not on fire, I might have to dig deep into that, right? Like I might have to go past the firewall that I'm currently in to be able to go, whoa, let's go digging for like some more reality checks. Let's go digging for some more things about life that are not this thing that we're looking at right now, just to see. Right? Like it's a curious mission, just to see. And as you were talking, I was just thinking about that, where I was like, yeah, there's possibility that with darkness the light comes, duh. You know what I mean? Like that that the purpose sometimes in the dark is that, knowing the dark so that you can know the light and then create the light, and that joy conversation, right? Like of being able to say like, have there been times in my life where something that felt dark actually ended up leading to light?
Yeah.
I bet there's a bunch of those,
Oh,
right? So if I can sit in this moment and remember that, right? It's the mix of those two things. It's that duality of saying, this does suck and this does feel heavy and dark and ugh, but I've been in places that felt heavy and dark and awful before too. And also, this is what it led me to, right?
yeah.
Like this is what came out on the other side. So it's not, again, like it's not really to gaslight ourselves to be like, oh my God, I love this situation. I can't wait to like be
Oh,
great on the other side. Like, nope, it still sucks. Still hate it. Still wish it didn't have to happen. But like, okay. I mean, I've got proof that that my life isn't going to be like this forever, and that there are great points that I've been at and low points that I've been at, and still I can balance that out. So yeah, at first though, I was like, I these two cards together, what's that about? But that deep dive into joy is a thing sometimes,
Yeah.
especially when you're not feeling awesome.
No, especially. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So, so our numerology card seems weird, but stick with me because I think it means something other than what it's saying.
This
So,
is what we're doing today. Today we're like, yeah, none
uh,
of this means anything that it's supposed to mean.
yeah, right, exactly. But it does, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
So we have card number 63, and
I
it,
knew it was going to be 63. I was sitting here saying Brad Marchand. I knew it. Sorry.
it's okay. It is the parenting card. And
Oh.
so, in the book, the book does talk about like being a special person in a child's life, like being maybe parental to a child or to someone or whatever that may be. And I I kind of am taking it out of that context because it may for you. Please know that if it is for you, then fantastic because you add light to a child's life. You give them what they need and help them. And that is wonderful. But to me, it's less about parenting, but partly about connecting to being a child and the joy a child would experience, right? Having wonder, right? Like finding a really cool rock or finding a really cool leaf or doing the things the children look at things on such a smaller level that they see a different world. And part of connecting with joy connects you to that the little being within you, and if you do parts work, many little beings. And so
Yeah.
it just connects you to a part of your heart that may have had to be shielded or shut down because of whatever you experienced in life, but it reconnects you back to that kind of like almost childlike wonder of things. And that's why the micro joy, the micro dosing of joy is super important because it connects you to something that a child automatically experiences when it's in its pure, when they're in their purest form and supported and loved. And I also think too that part of this is, ask yourself, like, if I had a child that was going through what I was going through the world, that they were experiencing the world and they were kind of upset, dysregulated. How would I support them? How would I give them hope? Or how would I
Mhm.
give them a space to feel what they feel, but know that they were supported regardless?
Yeah. It's that
And
parenting the inner child thing. Like, what would I, what did I need to keep this part of me alive? That's what I feel like sometimes when I'm doing that with people is that it's not about like replacing your parent who should have been doing something they were supposed to be doing, right? Like it's more just saying like, ooh, what would have brought that with me through the rest of my life instead of squashing it then? Because I want to give that to myself right now. And that to me like makes total sense with what you're saying. And like literally yesterday, I had somebody reflecting that to me, somebody that I don't know very well, but we've been talking, and they said, I can see how your inner child comes out in these activities that you're doing with your daughter. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, and then I was like, yeah, I guess. And especially to somebody on the outside that maybe doesn't, you know, do that too. Like it's like that recognition of it. Because yeah, that does get kind of squashed in us as children but that's not a cool rock. That's just a rock.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden we have to adapt to that, and then every rock has to just be a rock, until we're older and they become crystals and and we decide we
pretty.
are allowed to love them again. But yeah, like that does lots and lots make sense all together with all these. And I tend to agree with you that it's that inner child, not that outer conversation.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Cool.
being the person you wished you had as a kid to yourself.
Yeah.
And it's not about, you know, it's about showing you care and showing up. It's about being available and being self-supportive in a way that makes yourself feel loved and cared for.
Yeah, tending to the garden that nobody tended to. Like, oop, the seeds are still there. I can water them.
Yeah, they never go away. So, yeah. Our money card this week is I align my vibration to attract money into my life. Yeah, I will take that hard.
Mhm. Yes,
Um,
yes.
so this Saturday, and the last day of this reading, Mercury stations direct. I don't know that I can tell you how grateful I am. This one was wild and volatile and oh my god. I don't know how you all are coping with it, but we do have 2 weeks of post shadow, but I am just grateful to come out of the intensity, even if it's slowly, even if it's little by little. I just need Mercury to take its foot off my neck and to just be a little bit more kinder. I know that more kinder isn't grammatically correct, but it felt
Whatever.
good at the moment. So, anyways, so we're headed into December. We get one more day after this, after the 29th, and we're headed into December. And
Crazy.
we're headed towards the end of the year. Like, what are we cultivating? What have we planted? What have we reaped? What are we preparing for in this next year? And I really think that, I don't know, next year is about a lot of movement. I feel like there's a lot of movement that will happen. And part of December, the rest of November and part of December is going to be about understanding how to set yourself up in a foundation that feels good to move from. You know, many of you may know, if you're on my list or have seen my Instagram, that I decided not to launch Sacred Body Path for this month. It was so much pressure. It was too much. It was too much because I was in a fear state, and I was like, I am not tarnishing this beautiful existence of this creation by being in fear and by putting it out from a place of fear and not from a place of speaking from it. And so I did, and I practiced the practices that we do in class, and I decided that I was going to push it off till December. And I will launch December 10th in a way that is, I don't know. I want it to align with what the energy is of Sacred Body Path. So we're
Walking the
making
walk.
decisions. Yeah. Well, I mean, I tell all my students, I'm like,
Mhm.
use your circle, use your circle. And what do? I'm like, girl, use your circle. It's like,
Right? But I told that. I mean, I do it all the time. That's my entire social media strategy is to let people know, like, there's a process and I go through it too. And here it is, because I
yes.
don't want you to ever feel like I'm on a pedestal and that I do everything like by the quote unquote book. Nope. There is ambivalence here. There is mess ups here. There is, but all of that means that everything that I tell you, I will do for myself too. Like
Yeah.
that is that embodiment of what you're teaching.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And I'm holding myself to that same
100%.
process, right? To that same standard of expectation, not even expectation, but the desire to use what I teach, it's like, so
Right.
yeah. Yeah. So I wish you all the utmost love and kindness. We'll probably end up doing a holiday podcast this Wednesday. If not, we'll doing a podcast this Wednesday. But if you do not
It's pretty
feel,
traditional. I think we do it.
yeah,
It's traditional for us
yeah,
to do it.
it's traditional. This
Help
is how
y'all
we.
out.
This is coping in the holiday season when you're with people you don't want to be with. And for those of you who don't feel you can bow out and not do it, I absolutely send you the utmost love, and check out our podcast. I'm sure we have some kind of tips and tricks that we'll share, or ideas on how to cope with it. But we love you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, love y'all. Thanks for listening.
We hope we gave you something to support your journey.
Check out our Facebook or Instagram page to connect with us.
Have a great week.